You ever notice how some games feel like they're teaching you something more than what's just on the screen? Star Wars Jedi Survivor is definitely one of those games. Sure, it's Jedi power fantasies, wall runs, lightsaber duels, but when you really zoom out, it's a mirror. It's a reflection of some of the same struggles that we go through as people. How to grow, how to deal with loss, and how to rewrite who we are. And that's kind of why it's perfect for the Pulse Ascend arc. But because Pulse Ascend isn't just about getting better, it's about transformation. All the messy, painful, beautiful processes of becoming something more than who you were before what happened to you. Psychology of mastery and flow. In Jedi Survivor, you're never allowed to stay comfortable. The enemy scale, the puzzles stretch your patience, even the traversal just makes you think. That's not sloppy design. That's definitely intentional. It's hitting what psychologists call the flow state. It's the razor's edge where challenge meets skill, where you lose track of time because you're locked in, learning without even realizing it. And this is huge because flow isn't just about fun. It's the state where humans grow fastest. Survivor locks you in there, fight after fight, failure after failure, until the impossible just becomes routine. It's a reminder that growth doesn't come when things are easy. Growth comes when you're just barely surviving, but still able to push forward. Loss as the engine of change. But the game isn't just about skill checks. It's about what happens to you when you lose. Cal doesn't level up because he trains. He evolves because he suffers. Friends die, plans fail, and trust is shattered. And yet, he doesn't collapse. He just writes himself around to fill the cracks. There's research on this. Psychologists call it post-traumatic growth. It's the idea that when we're broken down, that breaking actually creates a space for something new. We don't just bounce back, we rebuild it into something stronger. That's the Pulse Ascend in motion. To climb, you don't just stack power on top of who you are. You shed what can't survive the climb. Sometimes that's comfort. Sometimes it's certainty. Sometimes it's who you thought you were. Identity beyond the code. Cal Kestis is not at all who he was. Not the Padawan, not the perfect Jedi. He's rewriting himself with every choice, every scar, and every compromise. And that right there, that's the psychology of the narrative self. We like to think of who we are being fixed, like we're defined forever by our past, but it's simply not true. Identity is a story that we keep telling, and our stories can change. That's why Jedi Survivor resonates. Because deep down, we all feel the weight of the story we've been carrying, and maybe we know it's time to let that version of us die. So something truer, something freer, and overall something more healthy can be written in its place. Pulse Ascend and the hidden lessons. This is why this game simply just belongs here in the Pulse Ascend arc, and why I couldn't help but choose it. Because this arc isn't just about flashy growth, it's about the cost of that growth. In the lore of Toki's Shadow, Pulse Ascend is neon mysticism, with glowing towers up above the smog, signals pushing past the static. It's the idea that ascension demands sacrifice. You can't rise without gravity pulling at you, and you can't evolve without shedding your old code. Jedi Survivor isn't a story about becoming invincible. It's a story about becoming unrecognizable to the person that you used to be. And that's the real psychology of transformation. It doesn't always feel like upgrading. Sometimes it feels like loss. But that's what makes it real, and that's what makes it matter. The transmission. And here's where I have to break the fourth wall, because this, right now, in this stream, this arc, it's not just gameplay. It's a transmission. Hidden inside the game's story is a message that humanity needs, that identity is fluid, that growth is always worth the pain, and that sometimes we have to burn away the old versions of ourselves to become who we are truly meant to be. That's what Pulse Ascend is. Not just content, but a coded reminder sent across the void. You can rise. You can transform. But you can't always ascend without loss. So the next time you're fighting through a brutal boss in Survivor or Elden Ring or whatever the flavor of the week is, or even just fighting through a brutal week in life, remember this: transformation is never free. Ascension always takes courage, but the version of you waiting on the other side of that climb, they're worth everything it costs to get there.